My name is Joseph McDaniel, and I'm an Arizona bankruptcy attorney, and since 2005, I also get to tell you that I'm a debt relief agency, and I help individuals and businesses file for bankruptcy. But today, I'm talking about how I don't want you to file for bankruptcy. That is, there are small businesses that need to know how to build their presence on the internet, because if they can just double their business, they can go ahead and avoid filing a bankruptcy. Now, right now, the problem they have is that they're all invisible on the internet, not in person. They're fairly opaque in person, but most of them on the internet are simply invisible because they have no presence at all. Now, I've been reasonably successful in developing an internet presence, and I've gotten great information from folks like Jay Fleischman, Stephen Fairley, and my fine law representative, Alex Morris. But I wanted something simple that will let a little tiny business with zero advertising budget develop an internet presence. Because if my buddies don't market on the internet, they'll get to work for somebody who does. So right here and right now, I'm going to list some sites on the internet that are great free marketing resources, like Blogger and WordPress, along with their little tutorials. And I'm going to list some sites that a small business simply must use, even if the small business uses the sites poorly, in order to put a big sign on the internet that says, "We make really good lemonade here." And I also suggest that you check Jay Fleischman's site, Stephen Fairley's site, and the great blog maintained by Alex Morris. Just because they primarily help lawyers is no reason you shouldn't buy their DVDs, seminars, ebooks, and other resources. So we're about to go on a whirlwind tour of sites that will get business to your small business, unless it doesn't. Bear in mind that these sites will only help buyers find you. If the food in your restaurant is lousy or the service is bad, that won't help. Ditto if you sell buggy whips and most people drive cars, right? The first place you're going to go is Google Places. The Google Places site is remarkable. If you do nothing else, plug your business information into Google Places and you won't be entirely transparent on the internet. You'll need a free Google email account to plug your info into Google Places, but no money. And you may discover the day after you plug in your information that your business doubles. Google Places has been useful to me. There's no guarantee, of course, about any of this stuff, and none of it is legal advice, of course. My discussion today is going to be Google-centric. It's the 800-pound gorilla in internet marketing. And if Google ain't happy with you, you ain't going to be happy. But if Google loves you, you will experience joy in your business. And here's a way to build a free website and a blog. Because a blog is just a website that you control rather than a website designer. And you get to build content in your free site. There are two most used hosting sites for your free blog, and one is WordPress. And WordPress is simply a place that you can go and set up a easy-to-build website with your content. And there's Blogger, which I use to build my blogs. It's not perfect. It has the advantage of being free, and there are videos about Blogger to make it even easier. They tell you how to add something you don't know exists to something you don't have yet. A discussion of gadgets that you can add to your Blogger blog shows up in the Blogger YouTube tutorials. And yes, today, among other things, I'm telling you to start a blog. Start it today. Build a crummy starter blog. Just get started and don't worry. Because nobody is going to find your miserable starter blog until you start making your blog visible. Do remember, however, that whatever you put on your blog will never vanish entirely. So do not post crazy, dirty, profane, or other weirdo stuff unless you're willing to have that identified with you when you run for office or apply for a new job. Seriously. Now, not only is your small business currently invisible, but your brand new blog is also pretty invisible because it's new. So it will probably be listed at the tail end of the website list, which puts it about 26 billion with a B down. Over time, with work, it will drift up in the blogosphere. And you will have clients who visit you because they like what you put on your blog. Why will your blog become visible over time? Well, because you will submit it to blog directories, where it will be republished and reissued in the blogosphere. And you will gain a viewership just because people like your stuff. My current thinking is that you wait until you have a bunch of entries in your blog to submit it to blog directories, because some blog directories are a little bit snooty and want your blog to have some, quality information. Several of the best blog directories include Technorati, Blog Hub, Blog Hints, and my personal prejudice is that you really ought to submit to as many blog directories as you can, or until you get tired. Now, don't pay anything to be placed in a blog directory, at least at first, because the whole point of this exercise is to develop a huge web presence for you and your little tiny business with a tiny expenditure of money. And the best expenditure of money is zero. Now, you can trade money for time if you choose to do so. However, right now, you're probably not smart enough to figure out where to spend the money. So let's start with being free. Now, I'm going to let you in on a secret of internet presence. Google loves content. Let's talk about what content is. It's stuff. And if you post more stuff, which is interesting, useful, entertaining, or otherwise attractive to viewers, Google will love you, and you will be happy because Google rewards those it loves. What is content? Well, original text is content. Videos are content. Pictures are content. Music is content. The spoken word, when it's recorded, is content. It's all content. And you can put all of those things into your blog, and you should. In fact, you must. And then at some point, Google will love you and reward you by putting you on page 1 of Google for your relevant search terms, which is functionally similar to building a better mousetrap. Google will find you, or help customers find you, and those customers will find you no matter where you try to hide. So how long will it take you to build a great blog? Well, it'll take you a while. So you'll need something to get customers to find your restaurant or your clinic or whatever you have until your blog drifts to the top of the search engine for the search term Best Blackened Snapper in Toledo. Now, there's an internet marketing device that's sort of an instant-on kind of deal. Remember, your blog drifts up slowly to the top of the hit parade under ordinary circumstances. You need something that will direct traffic to your tiny business fast and effectively. And you can build a blog, and that will be useful in that project. Every part of your blog, by the way, is a freestanding, separate website. And that's a very big deal. But you must have information about your little business in all the free online business directories that you can track down, and especially all of the free online specialized business directories that you can find. Remember not to put money into a directory listing yet. Put your business information into directories. You are not yet smart enough to decide which directory you need to feed money in order to get great results, so don't guess. Note that in the past, I did guess about which directories to pay, and I guessed wrong. And that's why I'm trying to save you from that wrong guess. So how many free online directories do you stuff your information into? Well, how rich do you want to be? And how do you find the most useful free online business directories on the internet? Well, how about if you type this search term into Google, free online business directory? What do you want to bet that the most beloved by Google free online business directories show up at the top and show up in order of love magnitude over all of the next 10 pages? Now, you have a business, not a hypothetical business. I know that your business is not the business of law, so I'll talk about something here just so you get the idea. If you type in a search that looks like this, free online attorney directory, you will see a bunch of online lawyer directories. I know them all and I love them all and I use some of them. Some you see are not exactly free if you're a lawyer. They are generally free to clients. So if you type in a search term like free online restaurant directory, you will run into sites that are free as to those who eat, but not free as to those who prepare the food. So just put your information into the sites that are free for you, for now. Once you are rich, feel free to evaluate the cost-benefit analysis of whatever you want. But for today, my suggestion is that you start with free. Now, the process of submitting the information to online directory sites is somewhat mechanical. So you may want to route that to a subordinate employee, if you have one, or to your teenage kid, if you have one. You may want to do it yourself so you can see what kind of information texture that the directories permit. You will also want to develop some padding before the bullet hits. Make sure your best customers talk about you. I have a buddy who's a great litigator, and I talked to him about his online presence, and he agreed with me that you can't keep everybody happy all the time, and it was inevitable that eventually even he would have a client who didn't like him, and he wanted to have a lot of good reviews to dilute the bad reviews when they eventually showed up. And that sounded like wisdom to me. And thank you very much.